How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match, the fourth and final round for the week. And we've got Adventurer PK Prank Kids versus Eldlich P.U.N.K Synchro over there on the right, and my man Joe Vu piloting the Prank Kid strategy. He is kind of nice with the deck, not gonna lie. He's kind of the, at least what I refer to him as the raid boss of our locals, because if you're ever gonna go 4-0, you're probably going to have to go through this guy, and it's going to be easier said than done, I'll tell you what. So, we're going to see the Eldlich P.U.N.K Synchro deck go first here. Very interesting deck. Said he had something surprising for the camera, and I guess he wasn't kidding. So, we're going to see Hulk summon out the Deskbot, and using the Deskbot engine to get into the Hulk, and also going into the Rorodon with not just one Deskbot, but two Deskbots here resolving. We're also going to see Cupid pitch now go ahead and resolve. Yeah, he's going to go into Boral Savage, and then Chainlink 1, Boral Savage, Chainlink 2. Cupid pitch will burn for 800, and then I'll go ahead and equip that copy of Hulk of Firebrax there. So already getting a negate out pretty early, although I'm sure an Imperm on that Aurorodon would be pretty strong. We're going to see one Deskbot trigger here off the summon of the Colt Wing. I think grabbing a Creation Resonator as well. That might have been off the Cupid pitch. Yeah, pretty interesting deck. Pretty interesting variant of just, you know, Hulk Turbo. Some Eldlich cards in there. And some Punk cards as well. We're going to go ahead and see him Synchro 10 here, since that Colt Wing is gaining the levels of all Mecha Phantom Beast tokens, much like Tetherwolf. So ending on Baron, Herald, and Savage Dragon. So a pretty hefty board with two set as well. And we'll see if Prank Kids can go ahead and break this board. We'll see Rite of Aramusir lead things off here. Could easily threaten a Wandering Griffin Rider and a bounce, so shutting one down is pretty good. But it is a you can only activate once per turn, and Herald of the Arclight negates activations, and he's got a second copy. So let's see if this forces it out. It is going to force out the Boral Savage. Then we have Enchantress in hand as well. And Enchantress is going to fire here, opting not to use the Baron negate. Going to grab right, and he'll negate the third right. Yeah, that's a valuable lesson our Eldlich Synchro player learned there, is that Aramusir is a you can only activate. And if you negate the activation, well, you can just go ahead and activate another one. And he just happened to have access to all three in the opening hand. Plus a Prank Kid. What can I say? He is kind of nice with it. Starting with blue into green into the Doodle-Doo. Off to a really great start here. And as he's going and going about his combo, let's take a look at the poll results. As you guys, who you thought would win this particular round. And as I'm recording, just about 560 votes or so. And Brave Prank Kid in the lead. Eldlich P.U.N.K was in the lead a little bit earlier when I checked in, but looking back now, Brave Prank Kid's in the lead at 53%. So it's not super outlandish here. It's not a super outlandish result, and it's also not a landslide result like we've seen, you know, in the past, I think earlier in the week. And we'll see if you guys are correct. You guys haven't been correct, I don't think, like one time this week. Yeah, I think you guys have been wrong every round. So let's see if you guys are right here voting for Prank Kids. We're going to see him go into just the red here with the pranks, summon the token, go into bow, burn for 5 here. And then go ahead and resolve red to go ahead and summon out a green. And at this point, Battle Butler is huge. Like, if you can summon a Battle Butler this turn, that would be pretty huge. Wipe the field, get the Baron and the Savage off the board, and just kind of wipe everything. Now, this is an Eldlich variant, so wouldn't be shocked to see some Eldlich traps in the back. And if he's got Sanguine on top of everything, he opened pretty insane. And there's the TDF. Going to go ahead and recycle 3 to go ahead and spec out the Battle Butler. And we'll see if he decides to use, or well, I think Meow Mew is only during the opponent's turn, so he can't use Meow Mew right now. But he can go ahead and board wipe. So he'll go ahead and fuse with those, and then activate the Battle Butler, tributing itself off, and we'll see if he has a response to this. Call by the Grave would be pretty insane right here, and we're probably signaling the end of the game, but it is going to resolve. And yeah, that is a huge Battle Butler. And it looks like he'll probably proceed to the battle phase here. He's going to have Ash for Sanguine 2. What can I say? He's kind of nice with it. Swinging in with the Bow Wow there. And for only 2,000, because he did have to get the Battle Butler off the field earlier in the turn just to wipe the field, be able to get some damage in to begin with. And we'll see if he can go ahead and even do anything else past this. It's the thing about Prank Kids, like, they do a lot, but they're kind of in a bit of a bubble in terms of what they can do. outside of just Battle Butler and, you know, their Link monsters. Totally Awesome is about the only other thing they can do. So it's not like he's making, you know, other generic Links and Synchros and other fusions as well. So luckily not going to be able to do a whole ton here, at least for our Eldlich Synchro player. We're going to see Pranks resolve here in the end phase. Recycling 3, putting back a Battle Butler I saw, drawing 1, and passing turn here. And yeah, board completely cracked. Double right, Enchantress, plus a Prank Kid, plus an Ash. Really strong against that board. And we'll see our Eldlich player normal summon a Punk monster. I don't know if this is a Z Amin. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's the pay 600. They all like have an effect where you pay so many life points to go ahead and search. So you will go ahead and search here. I'm not sure which one this is. It's not Wagon, that Punk Wagon, I don't think, because that adds a spell. So you did go ahead and search a monster, and then we're going to see him activate the one that he just searched from a hand, or from the deck, to go ahead and send itself, and a Conquistador to go ahead and summon one from deck. And forgive me if I don't know a lot of these Punk monsters offhand, because they're brand new, and I really haven't seen much of them. But it doesn't look like it's accomplishing too much right now, especially since we're going to see a Pandemonium fire off here for a Weather Washer. And he will go ahead and dump. And I believe he used green and yellow here. I could be wrong. Just going to go ahead and send the... Or no, he fused with the Bow Wow. Or no, he didn't fuse with the Bow Wow. Just fused from hand. Looks like he's opting only to summon one, though. And then dumping the field spell to summon yellow, and then activating Weather Washer to go ahead and revive Bow Wow and green. I was expecting a Battle Butler there, but probably doesn't have the gas in the tank for a second Battle Butler. At least not yet anyways. The Bow Wow could definitely help with that by adding back. And we do have some Eldlich traps engraved, so we're going to see him activate Conquistador and Scarlet Sanguine. And that's going to come in very clutch to go ahead and grab some more Eldlich Engine, grabbing Sanguine and a copy of Conquistador, one grabbing the other. Oh yeah, I believe it was Foxy Tune that he activated in hand. There's, you contribute one Punk monster, special summon. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, from your hand or field to the graveyard. Send one card from your hand to the graveyard if you special summon a Punk monster from your deck except a level 8 monster. So that's how that was Foxy Tune, for anybody wondering. The level 8 that's in the grave. But we're going to see him reset some Eldlich traps as you typically see in the end phase. Not really doing much else. It seems like, I mean, I don't know what the deck does beyond its first end board. I mean, if it makes that end board, odds are you're probably winning in yours, unless your opponent has that exact opening hand, or you just don't negate right and you stop Fateful Adventure. But I don't think he realized at the point that, you know, right was that you can only activate, not a you can only use, and that makes a huge difference in how this all plays out. But it is what it is. It does happen. But he might not have too much gas left in the tank after that. Did exhaust a lot of extra deck stuff, a lot of engine pieces. And then I don't know how much the Punk engine will help carry here afterwards. But we're going to see him go into a Meow Mew since it was recycled off that Pranks, activating yellow to go ahead and banish the Draco back. Since that engine is pretty much shut down for the time being, since all of his rights are gone. Oh no, Enchantress can add back from grave. Never mind. Card's pretty crazy. Yeah, so now we're going to see him activate right. We'll see if this right resolves, and it looks like it's going to, summoning out that token. I'm going to go ahead and grab a copy of Fateful Adventure. And we'll see if he can get access to the Wandering Griffin Rider. If he can, I imagine it's probably going to be game over here. We're going to see him activate Scarlet Sanguine. No Ash Blossom here. We'll go ahead and summon out that Altart Lord, activate Conquistador. And Conquistador effect is going to go ahead and pop the Fateful Adventure. Probably makes the most sense to get rid of that, since now he has no real direct way to go ahead and search the Wandering Griffin Rider. And he's also walled up here in the process by summoning the Lord and the Conch. And, I mean, all it takes is another Battle Butler. We'll see how easy he can get to another Battle Butler here. We'll see him link into Doodle, Chainlink 1 Doodle, Chainlink 2 Red, and probably not using Field Spell here since he doesn't really need to. Going to summon out Blue, adding the Field Spell here. And maybe adding the Field Spell just to get another name to hand. That would be maybe my guess. We're going to see him link off the token and the Doodle for Nightmare Unicorn. ditching the place and going to go ahead and spin a card, probably the Lord, and that's going to signal the end of game 2, actually. So, or game 1. We are into game 2, and of course, a huge shout out to our sponsors and affiliates. If you guys want to support the channel other than just watching, please don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKillStuff at checkout when shopping on Imperium Duelist, or using my affiliate links to both TCG Player or The Coldest Water, which can be found in the description of all my videos. So definitely check those out. Great way to support the channel and, you know, get something out of it in the process. So yeah, game 2, we are going to see Eldlich P.U.N.K Synchro go first, leading with Cursed Eld Land, paying 8 to go ahead and add Hakero. And then we're going to go ahead and see him set 4 and pass turn. So not nearly as extravagant as we saw in the first game. But you know, I guess that's kind of the interesting thing about this deck. You can kind of get one or the other. You can get, you know, full Deskbot Hulk combo, or you can get an Eldlich end board, set 5 pass. Kind of a different style. So we're going to see him normal summon the Roxy's, and then link it into Meow Mew. That will resolve here, so things are underway for the most part. Going to go ahead and banish a Veiler to draw and summon out green. And we'll see if he has any other interruptions here. Having something like, you know, a Conquistador popping green would be pretty strong, because that puts him on needing more extenders. We're going to see him summon Doodle Doo. And looks like Chainlink 1 Doodle, Chainlink 2 green. And we're going to see a Forbidden Droplet here, is dumping off that Cursed Eld Land to go ahead and make it so he cannot get access to, you know, either a Pranks or a Pandemonium here via Search. But of course, he can still dump the spell that he was probably going to search and try to add it back later. Which is one thing that I always found difficult about dealing with Prank Kids. That you try to stop them from getting their fusion spell, keep them off their fusion spell, because that really allows them to play. But also at the same time, like, if you stop Doodle Doo and they're smart and they summon green, or, you know, they started with green, or whatever it may be. I guess not if they started with green, but if they haven't summoned green yet, or they summon green off their first prank, like, they can just get access to it regardless. We're gonna see the P.U.N.K trap here get activated as well, which I think is just like a negate. Yeah, the dangerous Gabu. You can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negates effects until the end of this turn. Then if you control a P.U.N.K monster, gain life point equal to that targeted monster's original attack. So if he does not have a P.U.N.K monster, he won't gain the attack, but he's going to stop the second Doodle Doo. And then we're just going to see our Prank Kids player just keep linking, going again into the third Doodle Doo, and he's going to respond with Imperm, making sure he cannot get a search or get an add back here. Yeah, so just doing everything he can to keep that Pandemonium in the graveyard, summoning out a green here off of blue, and then going into Bow Wow Bark, and probably just gonna, you know, I guess settle down for the rest of the turn, and, you know, try to recoup resources in the standby phase off the Bow Wow, and get those cards back that he wants. Of course, Pandemonium is kind of successfully out of the rotation here, for the most part, unless he has another copy standby phase. Once he passes the turn, we're gonna see him go ahead and add back Pandemonium in blue. No surprise they're getting back the Pandemonium. And I see a copy of Golden Lord, and now we're going to see Vishuda as well. So Vishuda hitting the field. And we'll see what this will lead to. So we're going to see him activate Sanguine, and there's an Ash. You love to see it. Nothing feels better than ashing a Sanguine, I'll tell you what. And he also has that Hakero set, which really isn't honestly doing too much here. And then, I mean, I don't know if, I mean, maybe link into Monk if he plays it, I don't know. We're going to see him swing in with the Vishuda for 15. Let me put him down to 75, I believe, since he did gain a rack off of that Dropsies. We'll see him link into here what I can only assume to be a copy of Monk, and has Lord in hand, which isn't doing a whole lot here, and just going to go ahead and pass turn. And I wouldn't be surprised if we can see the game sealed out at this point. I mean, he's got Hakero to worry about and pretty much nothing else. We're going to see him lead with Pandemonium, pitching blue and red. Going to gain a rack and burn for 5. And go for the Weather Washer. Perhaps not Weather Washer. Maybe Rocket Ride is the play here. Not a Prank Kids expert myself, but Rocket Ride is pretty good. Although Weather Washer might be valuable in some way to stop, you know, damage step shenanigans, I guess, because I know it has that kind of Armades-like effect. So we'll see what he's going to go ahead and fuse for. Gonna go for the Weather Washer. Nope, thinking hard. This has got to be a tough decision here. just probably trying to figure out the most optimal way to get game here, because I think that's exactly what you have to do, is go for a game. This is one of those decks that, especially with the Eldlich engine, you don't really want to give too many extra turns if you don't have to, because the deck can grind. Prank Kids can grind as well. Maybe not so much as they used to be, with Meow Mew being at 1 in the times we are in, but, you know, still. So you will see him go ahead and only summon 1 here, but he can still go ahead and burn and gain without summoning. So we're going to see him summon out yellow, and then we're going to see him go battle phase, rocket ride over top the monk, and I think he used the field spell to gain 5. And then main phase 2, we're going to see him tag out into Bow Wow and Doodle, and then Doodle effect to go ahead and tag out into the Pandemonium and a copy of green, and probably just trying to set up the Battle Butler here on the next turn, and just make sure he doesn't play, because maybe he doesn't really... I mean, honestly, do you really care about the Eldlich stuff at this point? I feel like it doesn't really hurt the Prank Kid stuff too much, unless you're literally just Conquistadoring the normal summon. We'll see an end phase Sakero, and then... I standby phase, there was a declaration of the Bow Wow. I think there was a miscommunication, so he thought he was going to main phase, and he's, you know, first action, obviously. But yeah, it goes back. Standby phase, you know, declared it, so he's going to go ahead and add back 2 off the Bow Wow. And he's going to add back the blue and the red. Obviously, he has the green in hand, so we know Battle Butler is on the table. We're going to see him link into Link Spider. Yeah, I mean... It'd be nice if he was able to use Vishuda, but I don't know if the Eldlich traps count as non-effect monsters while they're on the field. Because being able to use Vishuda would have been pretty nice. And I guess at this point he has Lord. So he's going to go ahead and pitch and hopes he probably hits the Pandemonium, but he doesn't hit it. It's a Draco back, and that's going to signal the end of the game. Also, Valor Nib, too, on top of that. So, Prank Kid's taking it 2-0. You guys were correct here. Redeeming yourselves, and if you want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a huge shout-out goes to our Divine Level channel members, and they are Tweeter0226, Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Keith Sidgers, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your generous support of the channel.